Welcome everyone to Never Alone Live. And it's great to be here today. We have a great show lined up. And of course, we have Krista, Sober Barbie here. How are you doing, Krista?
I'm great. How are you?
Phenomenal. Thank you for asking. I got my new sober period hat in the mail, and I was trying to make a video about it, but I don't know what I'm doing. So it's
Practice makes
proving
perfect.
it's proving to be difficult. Um, and our we have a guest for today who will be joining shortly, who isn't
Mhm.
here yet. It's the Krista Johnny show for a few minutes. Our topic today is the truth about recovery. So when you hear the truth about recovery, what does that mean to you?
Well, first, the word truth. I never had truth in my life. Well, a lot of it was delusion. I thought it was truth and I was believing my own lies. I was buying my own lies. Um, and it's crazy to see people in my life that are in active addiction right now and they like think they're true. It's the truth. And it's hard to accept it. But the truth about recovery is it is a way of life. It's not a punishment. It's not like how people think like, oh, I got to get sober. I'm going to be boring. I can't participate in the parties anymore or whatever. But the truth about recovery is I have good health. I don't wake up with a hangover. I have good solid relationships, especially the people in these recovery rooms in this recovery community. Like everybody loves me after hearing the horrible things I've done in my life. Like they love me so much and show so much compassion and see the changes I'm making and are honest and um yeah, recovery is a way of life. It's about healing. It's not about just getting sober.
When
That
we
was a
talk
good
about
answer.
the truth about recovery, right? There's a lot of, what are the myths? What are the myths about recovery? I know I talk about it frequently. The big black cloud over, recovery is talking about a higher power. A lot of people, me included, when I came in, I did not want to talk about God. I did not want to, talk about higher powers. I did not like the religion that I was brought up in, and it it was that was big for me. And we do talk about higher powers. We do talk about God, and it's one of those things. Truth about recovery. We are going to talk about it. However, the program that I came up in, Alcoholics Anonymous, and did the 12 steps. It's a spiritual program, and they taught me that religion is what God taught us, be it the Bible, the Quran, the Torah, whatever book is being read to a congregation, that's religion, right? But this is a spiritual program, and spirituality is what I do for God. And that's the differentiator. And today, everything I do with God in my head and God in my heart, and it changes my decision making process. It
Yeah.
changes everything. And so, if we're talking about the truth about recovery, we should probably kind of debunk some myths, right?
Yeah.
It's awesome. We got people in the comments. Who we got in the comments?
Oh, some of our favorite people. So Charlotte, she says, "Hey girl." Um she knows me from my past. She knows me when I turned 21 and became a bartender that day. She has seen me crazy, but she has been one of my like we've turned into really really good friends and she's watched me blossom and
Okay,
I love
Charlotte,
her.
You need to send me a message, and we're gonna get you live on the show, and you can tell us all the dirt
No,
about Krista, about
I
Sober
say it.
Barbie. That would be
I
great.
say the dirt.
That's the truth.
And we got Marie
Marie
Anderson
Anderson, we love you. We're so glad you're here with us. Thank you for being with us.
and Kelly Cordell. Good afternoon, everyone.
Hello, Kelly. Thank you for joining us today.
And is Karen Conrad? Is that our Karen? Is that
That's our Karen,
our
Karen
Karen? I
Land.
didn't know her last name.
Karen Land, thank you
She
so much
found
for
God
being
in
here
the
today.
steps. She found God in the steps. I couldn't agree with that more.
Same, Same. You know, it was
Yeah.
so so okay. So let's talk about that. So the truth about recovery, the 12 steps are designed to have a spiritual awakening. We have a group of spiritual experiences coming closer to our higher power with each step that we do. And then the 12th step, having had a spiritual awakening as a result of these steps, it says it right there. We have a spiritual awakening as a result of these steps. So this is extremely, more myths debunked.
Yeah.
How I actually so I had a great conversation last Friday night, and you're gonna love this, Krista. So it was a guy came up to me after the meeting, and he says, "Johnny, how do I increase my spirituality?"
Hmm.
Huge question.
Good
And I mean,
question.
you know how when you're running, you've had all your conversations, you've hugged everybody, and you're ready to run, right? And I was ready to run, and I was walking to my car, and he asked that, and it led to another 20-minute conversation. So if
Yeah.
somebody asked you, how do I build my spirituality, how would you answer that?
Well, first off, I believe in these steps 125, 200%. But the key is you have to do them as they say. Like you have to follow the directions. And it's actually simple, but people like to complicate things or pick and choose what they want to do, part of it. And I did it as I was supposed to. And I had the spiritual awakening. Like it's right there. It literally gives you the directions. But it's really the daily surrender. You have to give your will over. It's you're not running the show. Like you have to actually put the work in every single day. It's not just, okay, I surrender, God, I'm good, and you're set for the rest of your life. This is like I do it like 400 times a day. I'm like, I will be done. Will be done. And these spiritual awakening moments happen when I'm least expecting it. And I'm doing the steps again, and I'm on step 12, that step. And I've had a spiritual awakening. It's been 20 weeks since I started them, the last 20, like over 20 weeks, but it's been just more aha moments. I'm like, you can't make this up. It's, it's something bigger. It's not me. It's not my family. It's not what's happening on this earth. It's something bigger. Your higher power is doing something. And that's,
That amazing,
yeah.
Krista. Who do we got in the comments? We got
Nikki's
Nikki, our
here.
friend Nikki from Arizona is in here in the comments. We love you, Nikki. Thank you for being here with us. So today we're talking about the truth about recovery, and this is big. And so we want to hear what was difficult for you when you started in recovery. So comment, and we want to talk about it. We want to talk about the truth about recovery, and we take negative comments, positive comments, and we're gonna take all the comments. So when this guy asked me the other day, how do you increase your spirituality, right? I kind of just went on this whole diatribe of my spirituality journey, and I went from agnostic, not believing, um, to having a higher power, which was the group, and I loved them. I trusted them. They led me in the right direction. And now it's it took me 20 years being sober, but I finally opened my eyes to religion and found Jesus, and was baptized. And so now I am a follower of Jesus Christ, and I love that. But that's my journey, and it took a long time to get here. And the biggest thing, and I told him this was my suggestion to him, was prayer. If you want to
Yeah.
increase your
Oh, yeah.
spirituality, you have to increase your praying. And then I talked to him about, my favorite book, which I talk about here a lot, is Sermon on the Mount by Emmett Fox. And in that book, he breaks down the Lord's Prayer, and he says the first two words are the most important words, our Father, right?
Yeah.
So, and that changed everything for me in the way I pray. As a dad, I think about how I want my children to talk to me, right? I want them to tell me everything. Tell me the good news. Tell me the bad news. Tell me the news that won't make me go up or down. Tell me everything. I want to know everything. So, now putting this into my own world and talking to my Father, talking to God, praying to God, I talk to God about everything. I start my day with a long prayer where I'm just talking to God, thanking him for the previous day, thanking him for the day ahead. And I pray specifically for people now. And I have a long list of people that I pray for. And increasing my prayer time is essential. And I think for building spirituality, increasing prayers is
Well, you're
probably the
doing
biggest thing.
gratitude too. That's huge alongside prayer is the gratitude and the prayer. That's your step 10.
Absolutely.
That's your step 10 right there.
It most certainly is.
Um,
Who do we got in the comments? We
we
got
have
we
a
got Katie. Katie is
Katie.
in the comments. Katie, you
Ooh.
know we love you.
And another Karen, after being in addiction for 30 years, I found it hard to unlearn old behaviors. I couldn't agree with that more.
Okay, we
Unlearning.
got a big
Yeah, this
long
is
comment from
Jess.
this is
Jess
your
is
friend Jess, correct?
Jess. She lives in a town that doesn't have a lot of recovery, and she started a harm reduction thing, and she's making a huge difference in her community. She said, loneliness is how my recovery started. I entered recovery and then spent the next 11 months incarcerated. After jail, I think the hardest part was doubters. I was so concerned about everyone else, even what they felt about me. Now connecting to my spirituality is a huge goal. I've begun working on things and I'm still super conflicted. Now my hardest part of recovery is losing people who should be here with me because of this horrible disease. I continue to lose people and it's so hard. I couldn't agree with that too. I've struggled with that too, what other people thought. And then it's the enemy out there trying to distract you for real.
It's so hard, especially, we talk a lot about enthusiasm for the program and gratitude, but those first few days when you're detoxing or coming into the program, you're fresh off the streets, loneliness, we suffer from low self-esteem, you know. I don't like myself. I don't think that anybody's going to like me. I have nothing to offer. Why would I share and offer anything? It's hard, and the loneliness creeps in. And that's why, I think it's so important for old timers in the program, anybody in the program, to be open and welcoming and inviting, and taking newcomers for coffee, to inviting them to the meeting after the meeting or the meeting before the meeting, whatever that is, inviting everybody along. And because it's a lonely time, and we need to remember that and then bring that into our programs as we move forward. This is important. Jess, thank you so much for that comment. We are talking today about the truth about recovery, and we want to hear what your truths are. We want to know what happened in the beginning for you guys, what happened in the end for you guys. We've talked about God a lot. We've talked about spirituality already. These are key things and myths that need to be debunked. Can you tell? I watched the Mythbusters a lot when I was a kid, and they debunk myths, and so that's what we're doing here today. And here's another one. Here's another one. Couples in recovery. Ooh, Krista, you know any couples in recovery?
I sure do. I'm one of them.
Yes. Yes.
It's been a journey in loving someone who's struggling and trying to save them. And I've always been the person that was the sober one and loving someone who struggles. So my best advice is to lead by example. That's all you can do is pray, and then have resources available for when they are ready, because there's a small window that when someone's ready, because they'll change their mind really quick. Really quick, and maybe not want it. So you got to get that ball moving quick. And it's possible. I mean, they do say not to date in the first year of your recovery journey.
Well, they don't say we're going to debunk that one, because
Okay.
they
That's a good
don't
one.
say don't date in the first year. They say if you're not in a relationship in your first year,
Yeah.
that it is suggested that you don't get in a relationship, don't make any major decisions, and it's specific so that you can work on yourself. You've got
Yeah.
12 steps you've got to go through, and if I add trying to get into a relationship in there, it's less that I'm going to be spending time working on me. So that's not a rule.
Yeah,
That's a big
it's
one.
not a
That's a
rule.
big one.
They suggest, some people suggest it. And they say
You
get a
know,
plant. Get a plant the first year. See if
and
you can
they
keep it
and
alive.
they also say dating in recovery, and people dating other recovered people and stuff like that, and that's another big one. And
It's
it's not a rule. It's again a
yeah.
suggestion, and especially new. But it's because, and I've heard before, if you date someone in the program, you're basically dating yourself with your own sicknesses and your own secrets. But everybody's sick, and when I see a couple in the program that are working the program together and feeling good and being able to talk about it, and having pillow talk as recovery talk, that's kind of amazing, dude. It really is.
Mm-hmm. I also meant to say you have to make sure you keep your recovery separate. Like you can't recover for someone
Big.
else. You can't make them do anything. Um, you have to work on yourself. You have to do the steps yourself. You can't involve anyone else. It's a selfish part of this process too. I
It
like
really
Karen
is.
said
We got a
said
lot
the
of comments
13th,
in here. We got to read some comments.
no 13th step. Actually, I had someone ask me the other day what that meant. And I was like, well, they kind of joke about it, saying like you just didn't stop and you like left with a boyfriend or a kid, or like I joke around and say that my daughter is a 13th step, because as soon as my husband got sober is when I got pregnant with her. But it didn't last. That 13th step didn't last, and we had to restart his whole process. But yeah, let's see what these comments say. Sorry, my dog, we got a kitten today. Well, it came to our front door yesterday, and I'm trying to balance it, and she's like freaking out in the next room, but she's okay if you hear her. Let's see. Same. Of course, my comment is long just said, the one I had just read. There's so much love people are giving to each other. Love you. Katie said, I had a problem with trying to control everything around me. Control. Brandy Harris is here.
Hi, Brandy. I see Joy is here
Joy
too.
is here
Joy,
with the muscle emoji.
love you,
Um,
Joy. Love you, Brandy.
Karen said, playgrounds and playmates have to change. Oh, I like that. Jess said, I do harm reduction. I'm going to butcher this name, Venego County, Pennsylvania, the Northwest side. We have nothing, one female detox and one male inpatient. We have one recovery specialist and a huge addicted community. I started an outreach and get the hate every turn. I love outreach meeting in my community where they are with compassion and education. Yeah, there's a lot of misconceptions about harm reduction. We need to debunk that one of these lives too. Joy said, I had to look at myself and my actions and stop blaming others. Katie's agreeing. Me too. And then Joy said, I had to return home to repair a relationship I played a huge part in destroying. And then Jess, I met my husband during a very short part of my sobriety. He loved me through all the messy addiction and substance use in jail and rehab. And we just got married in June, and we have 2 babies together and 6 altogether. I love a recovery love story. Okay.
A recovering love story. I love that.
That is a fairy tale, okay? Like, you feel so hopeless and like you don't see anything coming out of any of this, but it gives me the chills. It's absolutely so beautiful. So beautiful. There, let's see. Amber is here. Hey, Amber Yaste. Justin Long. This man just celebrated 2 years of sobriety, and me and Bubba were the ones that took the 12-step call to get this man into detox.
Yeah.
And he just said, I got my first he got his first sponsee the other day. We just did a live this morning, Justin, about sponsorship. Oh my gosh. I'm so freaking proud of you. I'm going to cry already.
I love, congratulations, Justin. Congratulations.
Justin.
Congratulations on your recovery. Congratulations on, being asked to be a sponsor is a huge honor. That means somebody sees in you what you have and they want that. They see spirituality, they see growth, they see compassion, they see empathy, they see patience, tolerance, all these gifts that were given in the program. And these are the things that they want, and we did have a great conversation on sponsorship earlier. And it's how do you go about finding a sponsor? Who do you ask to be a sponsor? Find somebody who has what you want. And, it has to remember, we have to remember that a sponsor is just a good friend. Somebody who's been through the steps, who can help you through the steps. That's it. It isn't a life coach. It isn't a life manager. It's not somebody who's going to solve all your problems that you put on a pedestal. No.
They are very helpful though.
They're extremely helpful, and I've had multiple sponsors over the years, and I've loved every single one of them, and I still do.
Jess said, I tell him all the time, we have a recovery love story. He saved my life. My children saved my life. I wish it was sooner, but honestly, I met the most amazing people in my life because of substances. I don't regret that. I can't. I agree 100%. And then soberhats.com. Mike's here. He had a fire drill today.
Soberhats.com. So Mike, if you look at what I'm wearing, look what I'm wearing right now. I got a video that I put together that I'm still working on that is all for you, and I am looking forward to sharing it. Anybody who doesn't know soberhats.com, are we going to give away a hat today? Should we give away a hat today? Let's give away a hat today.
I mean, we have started the Sober Hat Club.
This is it's a revolution of sobriety out loud, and it's so important because this is me telling the world without even having to say it, I'm sober, and it means.
And you're making it look cool.
Oh yeah, we make this. That's the best thing about being a bald man is I make every hat look good.
I'm pretty sure Mr. Beast just saw this hat, so it's in style now.
Yeah.
Vincent's here. Your boy Vincent.
Okay. So what do we got? So soberhats.com, we're going to give away a free hat, a sober period hat. If you go and follow Sober Hats, follow Mike, and send Mike a message. What do they need to say in the message today, Krista? I picked the message last week.
I don't know.
Okay. And go into Mike's message. The first person to go into Mike's messages, into Sober Hats messages, and says, I love Sober Barbie.
I like that. That.
Gets a free hat from Sober Hats. And we're a big fan. We're a big fan of the message. We're a big fan of Recovery Out Loud and everything that Sober Hats is doing. We are proponents of. We are proponents of.
But wait, where Karen said she has a shirt. Is there shirts? Right?
What shirts are we talking about?
She loves her sober hat and her shirt.
I don't know. You have a couple of shirts that you're talking about on some of your lives. And we should probably bring those up every now and then.
Me?
Yeah.
I used to make shirts, recovery shirts. My Cricut broke. I really want to start back at it, but I called it Recovery Island. I did it during COVID when I sent my husband to rehab. I was like, let me inspire stuff. This is where during COVID, everyone was depressed. And I'm like, oh my gosh, why are you guys depressed when we can talk about recovery sayings? They're going to make you happy. So I started putting them on shirts, and normal people, not alcoholics or addicts, were buying them. And I mean, that's recovery is universal. It's healing, like I said in the beginning. So
This is awesome. Like every week for the past 4 weeks or so, we've given away a free sober period hat, I think. And Mike is so great. And I want to see if Mike is still here. I'd love to see a screenshot of the message that says "I love sober Barbie."
me
That would
too.
be awesome. That would be awesome, awesome,
Me
awesome.
too.
Okay, so we're talking about the truth about recovery.
They have
Uh-oh,
shirts.
what are you getting? You're making all
They
sorts of
have
faces.
shirts. They have shirts. Mike, you didn't tell me you had shirts and
So right,
stickers.
I don't know nothing about no shirts. I ain't
I
got no sober period shirt. Mike, you gotta fill us in on the details, brother.
Charlotte
Okay, so we're
remembers what
we're
shirts.
talking about the truth about recovery. We've jumped on some topics today, and this has been awesome. Does anybody have any questions, comments? What do you guys
Just
think?
one.
You know,
Just won the hat.
Jess won the hat. Did she send a message to Mike that says that? I
He
need to
said it. He
confirm.
said winner, Jess Roses.
Oh, Jess won. Nikki's gonna be so mad. Nikki
Oh,
was
yeah.
Nikki was punching in there. Um, this is awesome.
He's got to bounce. But thanks, Mike. We love your hats. You're making a difference. Huge difference. Oh,
What other myths do we need to debunk? You know, when we talk about recovery, when we talk about the truth in recovery, you know, I think that the biggest one is the spirituality one.
yeah.
You know, and here's a question: Is recovery a cure for depression and anxiety? Ooh, that's a fun question. What do you think?
It wasn't in the beginning for me, but in long term recovery. So I did through Alcoholics Anonymous, is how I originally got sober. And I've lived the way of life of these steps because it's not really have anything to do with drugs and alcohol. You're figuring out you're powerless. You have no control over something. You find God. You get all that crap hurt out. You fix your wrongs. You figure out your character defects and stuff. You do the opposite. You make your amends, and then you live that way every day. And I was doing great, but I was still struggling with anger, depression, overthinking, grief. Grief's a big one that drove me to do a lot of act weird, and I didn't even realize it. So now I'm in a faith-based recovery group, which is, I think, without a doubt, the answer to addiction. But every way's different. Every way's different. But I went into this group 20 weeks ago, starting my steps, going, I kind of want this to answer my depression. I want it to be make me stop staying up all night worrying. Like, is this going to cure all this? And slowly but surely, it has. It like redoing my steps 10 years in has helped me with my depression. And I'm not perfect. I have anxious moments and depressive moments, but I don't stay in it, if that makes sense.
No, that makes complete
Keeping
sense.
the maintenance on my recovery and not just riding that wave, like actually putting the work in, is fixing my depression and stuff. Because I was on depression meds when I first got sober. I'm not anymore, but everyone's different. This is not medical advice.
That, you know what, and I love that you just said that, because this isn't medical advice. And
Yeah.
when it comes to anxiety and depression, these are mental health illnesses.
Yeah.
We talk about recovery. We talk about recovery from drugs and alcohol, and the drugs and alcohol weren't the problem; they were the solution. What was the problem? Anxiety and depression. Anxiety and depression. So alcohol and drugs were the solution, and when I get sober and I still have these thoughts and these feelings and these ideas and this negativity, I don't have that crutch to lean on anymore. I don't have the drugs and alcohol. So I have to learn a new solution. And that's what the steps are. And I have to say this, it's not a cure for depression and anxiety. Yes, it helps build my self-esteem. Yes, I take a look at the past and my character defects, my shortcomings, and I adjust my life accordingly to where I clean my side of the street and I try to keep it clean. However, it talks about in the book that, sometimes we need outside help, and that's not a bad thing, and mental health is such an important part of everyone's story. And, I am broken. And I admit that today, and I'm good with that today. And I can say that out loud, knowing that I don't have to use the solution that I used before, that I have other ways of getting out of it. And thank God, I mean, I have you guys. I have people that I can trust and bounce things off of when the craziness starts going through my head. I have a litany of people that I can call. I can pray. I can go to church. I can talk to my pastor. I have a lot of different resources now that I didn't have before because I ran the show and I thought that alcohol and drugs were the solution, the savior to all my problems, and they weren't. All they did was create more problems. And so if there's somebody listening that is suffering, even if you've got 5-10 years in recovery, it's okay to say I'm not okay.
I'm taking my mental health coach certification right now, and I've learned a lot of really interesting statistics. Did you know mental health is the least treated illness there is? Like, it's the most untreated illness it is. And it takes the average person 11 years to actually receive treatment for their mental health. Like, that's crazy. And most people don't. It's the most untreated disease or illness. And most people don't ever.
Katie Graham just said a great question. What are your suggestions for dealing with self-resentment, self-love, overthinking, and how long did it take you if you had to deal with it? Great question, Katie. And this is like the premise of everything that was wrong with me. I did not like myself. I did not like what I saw in the mirror. And self-resentment, that's such a big, 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 thing, is because, we're taught to forgive, but we can't forgive anybody if we don't forgive ourselves. We have to pray, and we have to do the program is work. It really is. Looking at the character defects, looking at my harm, my resentments, the people I need to make amends to. This is work. I have to kind of go back and go through these things that made me not like me. And I'm a big proponent of the eighth step, just writing down the list of people I need to make an amends to, because there's so many people that I need to make amends to. And I get on the butts though. And it's like, okay, I did this to Krista, but Krista did way worse to me, so I don't have to make an amends to her. And that's the exact opposite of what we're doing here. It doesn't matter what the other person did. It matters my actions and my reactions. So I have to look at that, and doing that and forgiving their side of the street, I can actually look at mine and get that forgiveness for myself. It's when my ego gets in the way, and I tend to, how dare they, when I have to look at my side, and when I look at my side, it's a whole different ballgame. So that's a great question, Krista. What do you think about that one?
I'm trying to do quality control with this dog right now, but I'm paying attention. Suggestions for dealing with self-resentment, self-love. I couldn't agree with what you said more. Other people play a big influence in what you want to think about yourself, and removing that, like not caring about what they think, is gonna make all the difference, I think. I have never been more comfortable in my own skin, and I Used to not at all. And it's just, I'm authentic. I'm real with it. Acceptance is key. Acceptance is a big one. Like accepting people are going to be the way they are. If you guys have not read that book, Let Them, what is it? Mel Robbins. Let them be that way. Just let them. It's none of our business what other people think about us, you know? And I keep seeing a video, like a quote going around, like, I've never, it was something about like not talking. Someone's going to hate you. You've never been hated by someone that you don't want to be. Does it make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's not jealous people. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but I think some of y'all know what I'm talking about. But also Charlotte said the Jelly Roll song, I'm Not Okay. Like that is a good song when it comes to that. But these comments, huge ego.
That's my boy. That's my boy Mark. My boy Mark,
Yeah.
who I got sober with so long ago. He was at the meetings with me when I got sober, and he is an amazing human, and he's hysterical, and he does have the biggest ego in town. Biggest ego in town. Love you, Mark.
I'm also have a TikTok live going on in the behind the scenes, and our boy Kevin's over there, and it's distracting me.
Mark says nobody cares. Work harder. It's
Yes.
mental signs hung up in my shop. That's truer words never been said. And we had Charlotte say a comment in here. Other people's opinions of me are none of my business.
Facts.
I love that line. I say that to myself all the time, and it's so awesome.
And Corey says, I find myself where I put myself.
Ooh, that's big.
Yeah.
That's big.
Yeah. All these comments, you guys are awesome. I love this community. Like talking about, you think after 10 years, 20 years for you, like we would get sick of this, but no, it's such a powerful, meaningful conversation. Like there's always growth needing to be happening. We're always going through something. We're living in a fallen world with crazies left and right. Like they're everywhere. And we've touched hell and came out, and we're proud of ourselves, and we're going to talk about it,
Absolutely. I mean, your recovery community is your key. We talked about sponsorship, right? And your sponsor's your go-to. Sponsor's very important, but it's just as important as your network. And your network consists of all the people that you let into your circle, right? And I let in newcomers into my circle. I let old timers into my circle. I want to hear it from everybody because, and a newcomer that comes in with their enthusiasm gets me enthusiastic. And honestly, since we've been doing this live stream, we do a daily TikTok. Had you told me a few years ago that I would be on TikTok every morning for at least an hour, I'd have told you you're a crazy person. But now we've built up this community, and today we had somebody with 7 days on, and they were asking questions, and I mean the whole group in there. Between the whole group, there was a couple 100 years of sobriety, and we were all. Right there. Everybody was answering with love, and everybody had different opinions and different ideas and different this and different that. People who've been sober from NA and CA and AA and everybody.
All walks of life.
All walks of life from different places all over the country. And, it's like, and there's no animosity. There's no hate. There's just love and support. And
there's disagreements, but it's respect. That's it. There's so much respect. And you don't see that in the normal world, like with people who aren't us, like alcoholics or addicts. Like there's a lot of disrespect. Like go on my Facebook For You page. It's crazy, the fighting and the arguing. And I'm like, you guys need recovery. You need recovery.
Yeah. And but that's at the same time, we're all just God's creatures, and we're all given our own free will. And people say that, remember that show, the kids say the darndest things or something like that.
Yes.
It's the same
Yep.
thing, where none of us are perfect. And I know, for speaking for myself, I say the wrong things, I do the wrong things. And I try to, my main thing is I don't want to hurt anybody. I want to help people, and I want to love people. And and that's the message we should be carrying. And that's the message I get from the group that we do every morning. And now here with this live and seeing all the love in the comments, it's so fantastic.
Charlotte asked what CA is, and without saying, I don't know if I can say it, but it's why they used to call our island Snow Island.
Yeah.
They did. They used to call our island Snow Island. But,
today's been so cool, talking about the truth about recovery. We had a guest lined up, but he had something happen. So, this has been awesome. Krista and I have just been able to come on and share, and this has been phenomenal from my end, And I'm telling you, just I learn so much coming on to these things and hearing what other people are thinking and other people are saying, and we just want to thank everybody for coming and joining us today. We love you. We're proud of you. If you're celebrating, we're celebrating, and this has been great.
Yeah, and Charlotte isn't one of us, and she likes it, so it's for everyone. Recovery's for everyone. I love it. Greetings from India.
Okay, so everybody, make sure you come back, join us next week. Next week we have a fantastic guest on, and if you want to, go find Sober Barbie on TikTok, and it is every morning we meet at 9 a.m. 9 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Eastern, and that'd be 7 a.m. Pacific. There's also a Zoom meeting. Zoom is on Tuesday nights, and it's phenomenal. All you gotta do is follow Sober Barbie, and she has all of the links somewhere.
My inbox is always open, so please feel free. If you're struggling, if you know someone's struggling, or you need any kind of support or help, I'm here.
Mark says, is this every Wednesday at noon? Yes, Mark, this is every Wednesday at noon. And hopefully, definitely next week we'll have a guest on here, and it won't just be me rambling on and on, which nobody wants me rambling on and
on. We have some good combos.
We most certainly do, and I'm so appreciative. Alrighty, thank you, everybody. Love you, proud of you. Let's keep going one day at a time. It just gets better.
Yes. Have a great one, guys.